So, well, once again, good morning, everyone. Welcome to SR Trainings for SAP S4 ABAP Introduction session, the demo session. So, today's session can be extended for 1.5 hours because I need to give all the details like what we are going to provide, what are the things that you will be going to know as part of this session, as part of this training, and all these things. And if you have any question and answers. But from tomorrow's onwards, the training will be 1 hour session only. So, and the training classes will be from Monday to Friday. And in between, let's say, for example, in between the training, in between these days, maybe if I was busy with go live activities and I can't able to make it up on any of the day, I'll be carry forward that session or on the weekends. So this is how my style of training is. Okay, this is how my style of training is. Now, let's get started. So, first of all, what is an S4 HANA? So, S4 HANA stands for your, just give me 1 second. Yeah. So, S4 HANA. So, first of all, when this S4 HANA has been launched. So, S4 HANA has been launched in the year 2015. So, remember that SAP has not introduced this S4HANA, first of all. So S4HANA. So we have a system called as your Sybase server. So SAP has purchased this server completely. So that means they have acquired this company and they have added few of the capabilities. So a Sybase is a column database whereas our ECC is a row-based database. Row-based database. So now what they have introduced, so they have came up both these column database and row database into one single database, and they have replaced the name into HANA. They have replaced the name into HANA. So remember that HANA is a database. Whether you are working on ECC or whether you are working on HANA, you won't feel any difference from your ABAP point. You won't feel any difference from your ABAP point, except the style of the code, the style of the program has been changed. How it has been changed, what it has been changed, you will be getting to know in your upcoming sessions. Okay, so now this they have launched in the year 2015 version. In the year 2015, and they have told that as HANA database. Till now, the S4 HANA has not been came up. The first and the foremost thing they have introduced is HANA DB. Just it's a DB. So now, as you already know, ECC, you can use any of your DB. So SQL, MS SQL, or you can use Oracle, or you can use any other any other DBs that are available in the market. You can use it, and you can just play with that. Now, the same thing that SAP has came up, and they have told that replace your existing DB and change that with HANA. So that we will be calling it as ECC on top of HANA. ECC on top of HANA. The same system, no differences at all. So, but it's just like on top of HANA. Now, in after this, they have simplified their databases. So remember that SAP has done some simplification in their databases. So after simplification to the databases, they have launched something called as your S4 HANA, simplified fourth generation. Fourth generation HANA. This is the fourth gen. So you will be seeing something called as in your ECC, before your ECC, you will be seeing something called as your R1, R2, R3, two-tier architecture, three-tier architecture, and single-tier architecture. So this is a fourth generation architecture. So what is this fourth generation? What has been added? So in your ECC, when you're seeing it, you will be seeing something called as your presentation layer, application layer, and your database layer. So you might be already knowing of it and you know the flow. What entire program will be run in your application layer itself. So the presentation layer is what you are seeing, and the application layer is where the program is going to be executed, and the database layer is where the data is going to be stored or where we are going to pick up your data. So this is how. So from your presentation layer, it will be going to your application layer, and from your application layer, it will be going to your database. And the same way from your database, it will come back to your application layer, and from there, it will be coming back your presentation layer. So this is how the flow of the program will be run in your ECC system. When you are working with your HANA system or S4 HANA, I would say. So if I'm calling the term HANA, so remember that it's S4 from my point. So you will be having the same thing. So you will be having the presentation layer, the application layer, and the database. Before this, you will be having one more layer called as your CDS view layer. CDS view layer, or some people will call it as your RAM. RAM. So RAM. So this is the architecture. If I go back to my PPT, you can see the next thing is here the architecture, how the architecture will be. So before this, you will be having one more thing called as your CDS views. So when you're working on your S4 HANA, remember that when you're working on your S4 HANA, we should not get data from the DB table. We should never ever get the data from the DB tables. For all the DB tables, SAP has provided a CDS views. SAP has provided a CDS views. From this CDS view only, we need to fetch our data. So how to find the CDS view? Find the CDS views and all these things, you will be going to know it, because in CDS view, we have different types of CDS views that are available. One is your interface view, and one is your consumption views. So what is this interface view and what is this consumption view? You will be getting to know in your upcoming sessions. In this interface view, again, it has been segregated into basic views and then composite, composite, composite view. So in this basic view, the normal view, normal basic view, you will be having basic view you will be having, and you will be having the value help basic view. Value help basic view. So in all these things, which one we need to consider? So that you will be getting to know once when we go ahead and start with our CDS views. Don't worry about that. Okay. Once we go ahead and start with your CDS view. So all these things we will be segregated it as your virtual data models, VDMs, we will be calling it as. So we will be going to tell you about these VDMs, and then you will be knowing to know which type of a CDS views. Or before we go ahead with these virtual data models only, you will be getting to know which type of a CDS view we need to consider when writing our program. Okay, so this is one thing. Now, this CDS view will be is going to fetch the data. So see, as you already know, so when you're working, let's say if you have opened your laptop and you're opening the application for the very first time, as you already know, it will take some time to get open your application, right? So from the next time, so let's say if I'm opening the Word for the second time, see, it is too fast when compared to open for my very first time. Let's say if I open the Excel, see, it's taking time to load the Excel for the very first time. Now, once I open my workbook, and now if I open this Excel for the second time, it will be faster when compared to the last time. When compared to the last time, it will be faster. It will be faster. Why? The program, whatever this program, it has already stored its cache version in your RAM, in your laptop. In the lab, you will be having a laptop. So now next time when you're opening the application, system will check whether the cache has been already there in your RAM or not. If it is there, it will be getting from that RAM. RAM is almost 10x time faster than your database. RAM is almost 10x times faster than the database. Now, the CDS views will always be lying inside your RAM. So now when you're getting the data from the CDS view, instead of getting the data from the physical database, it will be 10x times faster. It will be 10x times faster. Okay, so that's why we will always ask you to go ahead and use your CDS views instead of your physical database. What will happen if I go ahead and use my physical database? Nothing will happen, I would say. But the you can see some slowness. You can see some slowness when fetching the data. That's it. Now you can also ask me one more question. I have a custom Z table, and if I want to fetch the data, do I need to go ahead and create a CDS views for that custom table? See, if you're going to create a linkage between that custom table and to a standard tables, then you go ahead and create a CDS views and you fetch your data. If it is a single Z table you're fetching. So that means I would say select star from your Z table. Select star or select the required columns from CTIP. In these cases, you don't need to create anything. Or else if you are going to create any inner join with some DB table 1 and inner join with some DB table 2. So like that, if you have few 2 to 3 tables which are going to be used, then you go ahead and create your CDS view. You go ahead and create your CDS view. What type of a CDS view you need to create, that you will be going to know in your upcoming sessions. Okay, so this is all about your what is this RAM, how it is going to play in your S4. Now coming back, as I was telling you, so S4 HANA has been launched in the year 2015. So HANA database has been launched in the year 2012 or 2011 itself. But S4 has been introduced in the year 2015. So before that, we have your HANA, which is nothing but your ECC on top of HANA. ECC on top of HANA. So that we will be calling it as suit, suit on HANA. Suit on HANA and suit for HANA. You will be having two things. Suit on HANA is nothing but SAP ECC on HANA DB, whereas suit for HANA is a S4 HANA, which is a simplified database model. What is a simplified database model? So what SAP has done it in ECC, you are having different types of tables, database tables. What are those? One is your transparent, one is your pooled, and one is your cluster tables. Now, in HANA, what SAP has done, they have removed all the pooled and the cluster tables. Everything is a transparent. And few of the tables they have removed and replaced with one single table. if you think that for your accounting, let's say for your accounting, you will be having something called as your PKPF and your basic table. Basic. So these two are the database table which is storing your accounting documents. They have replaced with one single table called as your AC Doka. AC Doka. In the same way for your material documents also, so you will be having MKPF and your MSEC. So they have replaced these two tables as your material document table. Like that, they have simplified their database structures, and you will be having so many status tables. So those are all removed right now. Those are all removed. Like that, they have removed so many different tables, and they have added few more tables. They have removed. But can we able to see your existing tables? Yes. Few of the tables still visible, like your PKPF, PSEC, MKPF, and MSEC. These tables are visible in your S4 also. But instead of that, we will always suggest, we will always tell us to use your AC Doka or your MatDoc. Okay, so that's called as your simplified data model and lean architecture. They have created a flat type of architecture. So like I have told you, right, the status tables has been removed, and the status tables has been removed. So that's called as your flat architecture and improvised your user performance, which is nothing but your SAP Fiori. Fiori. So when you're working on your S4 HANA, so for all the end users, they will never ever use their GUI. So we as a developers or the functionals will go ahead and use the GUI, whereas for the front end users, it will always be your SAP Fiori. So is this is the standard which SAP is asking us to go ahead, but few of the clients, they don't want to go to the Fury. Why? Because they have been got habituated with the GUI. I have seen a clients who are with SAP from last 25 years, 26 years. So if we ask them to go ahead with the Fury, they can't able to go ahead. They can't. They can't able to go ahead straight away. But for them, it's they are using GUI and Fiori, but new customers who have been entering into our SAP world. So for them, for end users will always use the Fiori. Now you can also ask me. So in this in this we are also covering. So let's say I have a Fiori application. So I want to find out. Um, I want to find out what is the backend. What is the backend service which is triggering this? So this type of a things also I'll be going to help you with. I'll be going to help you. Okay, this type of requirements also I'll be going to help you over here. Okay, so this type of requirements. So that we will be having a separate link called as here Fiori app library. So we'll be having that. So what is that Fiori app library? And that we will be going to see in your upcoming slides. Don't worry about that. So whereas these are for your standard apps, for your custom apps, let's say. So I want to find out the backend services. How can you know that one? So that we will be going to showcase you by debugging the Fiori screen. Debugging the Fiori screen, I can help you out. What is the service it is going to be called, or whether it's a OData service that is going to call, or whether it's a CDS view that is going to be called. Whether it's a OData service or whether it's a CDS view that is going to be called. So that I'll be going to help you out. Okay, so this is what this is all about. This is what from the Fiori standpoint we'll be going to teach you. Now, and we have something called as your in your In your suite for HANA, which is S4 HANA, we have advanced technologies such as your artificial intelligence, the machine learning, So these two capabilities, majorly you can able to work on your S4 HANA. This is we can't able to do this with ECC on top of your HANA or your regular ECCs. Okay. Now coming to your S4 HANA. See, when you're working on your S4 HANA, you can you can have your database in three modes. What are those? One is your on-premise, one is your public cloud, and one is your private cloud. One is your public cloud and one is your private cloud. You can have it. So coming to your on-premise system. So when you're working on ECC, it will be only be on premise. It will be only be your on premise. Whereas when you're working on your S4, you can have your on premise, or you can have your public cloud, or you can have your private cloud. So on premise is nothing but the database will be in your company. In your company. That means it will be managed by your own people. It will be managed by your own people. Whereas coming to your cloud version, cloud, so which is nothing but your public cloud, or which is nothing but your private cloud, which is nothing but your public cloud, or which is nothing but your private cloud. So this will be managed by either SAP or some service providers. So cloud providers, I would say, not service providers, cloud providers. We have the cloud providers. So we have so many people who is going to provide the cloud. You can host that SAP into their clouds. So in this, you will be having a dedicated cloud, or you will be having the public cloud. So public dedicated cloud is nothing but your private cloud. So that's what. So if you see here, so private cloud. So which infrastructure is dedicated to a single user organization? Which infrastructure? Whereas public, so where on-demand computer services and infrastructure managed by the third party and shared with the multiple organization using your public internet. Using your public internet. So this is the difference. But from your ABAP stack point, you don't know. But in the interview, they will be asking you whether you have been worked on cloud DB or whether you have been worked on your on-premise DB. So you need to know where your server has been hosted, where your server has been hosted. So the best example is, where is your base system lying? Where is your base system? If it is managed by SAP, then you are going to use your SAP cloud services. Cloud services, SAP cloud services. If it is managed by some external team, so they are the persons who is hosting your SAP on their cloud, If it is managed by internal team, then it's completely your on-premise. It's completely your on-premise system. So this is on the perspective of a product-based company. I'm saying this, guys. Product-based company. So product-based company, I'm saying this, guys. It's not like don't think like as a Deloitte person or an Accenture person or a TCS person. So I'm just telling you, like I said, if you're working with the Zio, or if you're working with Airtel, if you're working with Dr. Reddy's lab, so like that. So from their perspective, I'm telling this. Okay. So this is what. Okay. So remember that wherever the basis team is sitting, so mostly those are the persons who is maintaining your cloud, who's maintaining your cloud. Before that, once you join into an organization or once you join into a project, just know how what is our infrastructure model. Okay, so this is one thing. So this is all about the difference between your suite on HANA and suite for HANA, and what are the different types of S4 HANA databases. Any questions before we go ahead to the next things? Before we go ahead with the next things? Okay, I'll be considering it as no questions. Now let's see the architecture. As I have provided you the high level of architecture. It's a presentation layer and the application layer and your database layer in between your CDS views. Now, in ECC, as I already told you, the presentation layer will be your GUI. In ECC, I already told you the presentation layer will be your GUI. Whereas in your S4 HANA, it will be your Fiori. So what is the advantage when you go ahead with your Fiori? Now, Fiori, you can able to launch from your mobile, or you can launch from your tablet, or you can launch from your computer. So if anyway, it's just a web-based applications. All your applications, whatever you are going to develop, we will be showcasing you either in your intranet, in internet or intranet. So do you know the difference between the internet and intranet? I hope you will be knowing it. Internet is we will be exposing to our web. So everyone can able to access this one, whereas intranet is only internal, internal. So internal organization can able to access these applications. So we need to decide whether we are going to face this as an internet application or an intranet application. Okay, so that's one thing. So now they don't need to have their huge setup. They can just work with their tablets. Users can be able to work with their tablets, or user can able to work with their mobiles also. They can able to complete their task very faster. They don't need to have a dedicated space where you need to maintain your system and all this stuff. They don't need to do it. So that's why we are going ahead with the Fury. Okay, so now from this Fury, let's say, for example, let me enlarge the screen. Okay, so from this, if you see here, so you will be having, as I was telling you, you will be having your mobile, the tablet, as well as your desktop. You will be having. So from this, when you're working on your ECC, let's say, for example, let me open my paint window. You might be already aware of this, but I'm just letting you know for one more time. You will be having your presentation layer, your application layer, as well as your database layer. In this application layer, you will be having something called as your work processors. You might be knowing it. So these work processes. So these work processes will place an important role while fetching the data or while updating the data. So in this, you might be aware of it. You have five different types of work process. One is your foreground. One is your background. One is your update one, and the fourth one is your update two, and the fifth one is your spool. And the fifth one is your spool. And the fifth one is your spool process. So these are the four different types of processes, five different types of processes that are available in your application layer, where you can able to see this. You can able to see this in a transaction code called as your SM51 or SM52. SM51 or your SM52. Now, when you're sending the request, so when you're sending the request from your presentation layer, So which work processor is empty? Which work processor is empty? How can I know? How can the system know it? So for this, in between this, you will be having something called as your dispatcher. Remember that. You will be having something called as your dispatcher. Dispatcher. So which will see whichever process is empty, it will link to that process. Now, in the same way, when you're working with your Fiori, you will be having something called as your web dispatcher, the same behavior, the web dispatcher, you will be having it. So this web dispatcher will let you know which application layer it has to be, which work processor in your application layer it has to be connected, which work application layer it has to be connected. So that's the main advantage with your dispatcher. Now, whenever it has fetched the data, it will remove the connection. So like this. So let's say, for example, so I have sent multiple requests. Now, this will connect it to this processor, and this will connect it to this processor, and this will connect it to this processor. And the same thing, it will fetch the data from your database. Once this is done, SAP will go ahead and remove this connection. SAP will go ahead and remove this connection. Now, for the next connection, it will utilize this automatically. So that's the advantage. That's what the dispatcher will go ahead and do it. So that's why when you're working on your ABAP program and you're running the program for multiple times, it will connect to your multiple processes. If you want to check that, just go ahead and check in your SM51 transaction code. So I'll be going to showcase you that one also. Don't worry about that. Okay, so this is what. Now, coming to this. Fiori. The front end is here, Fiori. As I was saying you, uh, each application you will be exposed either as an intranet or your internet. Now, when they launch the Fiori, you will be seeing all the applications as tiles, all your applications as your tiles. So which is nothing but your if you see like in your mobile, if you want to open any application, you will be seeing a tile like your Facebook, WhatsApp and everything, right? In the same way, all your Fiori applications, you will be showcasing you as a tile. We just need to click on that tile, and the application will gets open. So this is how the tiles will look like. This is how the tiles will look like. So these are like your mobile applications where you can see these tiles have their own purposes. These tiles have their own purposes. Now this is what. So now the standard applications also, whatever you are seeing, your standard applications, SAP has created the tile, like creating of your purchase order, creating of your material document, releasing of your purchase order. So all those things SAP has created your tiles. So now where can you see the tiles? You can able to see the tiles in your Fiori app library. So this is the link. Now, if I just open my Google Chrome, just 1 second. Is okay. Sorry for that. Now, if I just go here and say Fiori app library, you can able to see the first thing, Fiori app library. So this is a place where you can able to find out all your respective backend services or backend CDS view. Now, let's say, so whether you're so what type of a system, whether it's a private cloud or public cloud or what type of a things. So all your apps you can able to find it out. Just click on your all apps and then just provide your things. Let's say, for example, accounting. I'm just going to create this as your accounting. So you can able to see the respective documents for your accounting, the respective documents for your accounting you can able to see. So let's say, for example, any app if I am opening. So now you can able to know. So this will tell us from which release the app is available. So 1610 onwards, this app is available till 2023 FPS 02. As I was telling you, so we have been working with 2023 FPS 02 version. So now, so which version of your system you're working? So that you need to know it. So now you just need to go ahead and select that version. So you just need to go ahead and select that version. In the implementation information, under this configuration, you will be going to know what is your, how it is going to launch. Okay, see here. If it is a SAP UI Tech Hint GUI, that means the same transaction code, whatever the transaction code. So this is the transaction code they have exposed to as a Fiori tile. They have exposed to as your Fiori tile. Now, if I just want, so this one thing. So now when I just go here, manage bank accounts. Let me open this one. Manage bank accounts. Now if I just go to any of my version, now if you just go to the configuration, you can able to see SRV as a OData service. So if it is a tech UI hint, then it is the transaction code that we have been exposed to the Fiori. And if it is a OData service, then it is nothing but your OData. If not, you will be seeing something called as your custom analytical query with the 2C. 2C. After that, you will be finding your CDS view name. Remove this 2C and then copy the CDS view and you can open that. So these are only the three ways where you can expose your details to your Fiori. Either your direct T code, SC38, you have created a program for this, you have assigned a T code. That T code you have exposed to your internet, or you can expose that as a service, or you can expose your custom analytical query. So you'll be creating an analytical query so that you will be exposing this to your Fiori. So when you're creating a custom analytical query, it will start with your 2C. Okay, so these are the three ways, these are the three things which you will be going to do it. Okay, so this is all about your Fiori standpoint. So all your apps you can able to do it. So once you have registered this course, I'll be going to share you this PPT also, guys. Don't worry about that. Okay, now coming to your, the next one is your application engine. As I was telling you, so SAP has been it's a simplified lean database. See, you have so many database tables in your business suite or on your SAP ECC. They have been replaced with a few tables in your S4. Your S4. When you have removed the database tables, the speed will automatically increase. The throughput will also automatically gets increased, because instead of fetching the data from 5 to 6 different tables, you will be going to fetch the data from one or two single tables. One or two single tables. So that's what. So many tables remaining, no redundancy, clear separation of your master data and transactional data, and then reduction of your memory footprint as the tables got reduced. As the tables got reduced. So these are through insert only to the database level, no locks for your standard price valuation. So these are all the things that SAP has been came up with your simplified fourth generation HANA. With your simplified fourth generation HANA, the tables has been reduced. Now, the next thing is your CDS views. What are these? So these are your core data services. So core data services. Now, when you're working with your ECC system, when you're working on your ECC system, what you will do, you will first select the data and you will be storing it in your internal table. After this, you will do all your aggregations, concatenations, everything. So you'll be going to do all your aggregations, concatenations, any other formattings, everything you will be looping. So you will loop this internal table, loop the internal table, and you will be going to work with all these things, right? You will be working with all these things, right? Whereas, so this is called as your code to data, sorry, data to code. Okay, sorry, my bad. Data to code. So data to code is what we will be doing. So we will fetch the data and the respective coding like concatenation formatting, we'll be doing it in your ECC. Whereas in your S4, it is nothing but your code to data. So all your aggregations, concatenations, formatting, we will be doing at the database. Only the result we will fetch. Only the expected result will be fetching. Only the expected result. So all these aggregations, concatenations, formatting. So where you can go ahead and do, you can do it in your CDS views as the first level when they introduced in HANA 1610, oh sorry, 1509, 1610, 1709 and 1809, you can able to do in your CDS views. But from HANA 1909 version onwards, the same thing you can able to work with your select, you can able to work with your normal selected queries also. In normal select queries also you can able to work. So these are nothing but the new syntaxes. These are nothing but your new syntaxes, which is our first topic, which we will be going to start it from here tomorrow's session. The first topic, the new syntaxes. Okay, so now, so in that case, you can ask me then what is the importance of your CDS views? Importance of your CDS views. Now, importance of your CDS views, you can ask me. Now, when you want to expose a data, a query, so you can able to create with the help of your CDS view, and you can directly expose the CDS view as your OData service. OData service. So this is one more advantage. And these these complex things, if you the complex applications, if you can't able to get it from your normal things, you can go ahead and use your CDS view. So this is our second topic. The second topic. On top of this, you will be having one more thing called as your AMDP, ABAP Managed Database Procedures. So what are these things? So here you will be learning something called as your native SQL. Native SQL. So we'll be coming to know that. After this, we will be teaching you OData service. So this is how the format will be. So the first thing. So from 1909 version from SAP ABAP 7.4. If your ABAP stack is 740 from ECC version also, whatever the new syntaxes we are teaching you, you can able to use it greater than. So how can you know your ABAP stack version? So that we will be going to showcase you in your tomorrow's session where you can finding out that. Okay. And what is your HANA version also? I'll be just showcasing you that in your tomorrow's session. Okay, so the new syntaxes which I'm going to use, you can able to use on your ECC if it is abstract greater than 740 version. So these are all your compatible versions of your HANA. Compatible versions of your HANA. So these are all your compatible versions of your HANA. Okay, so you can able to use that one. Now, Now, coming to your database, as I already told you in the first slide, as HANA, as for HANA, HANA will support both your row base and column base, both row base and column based. So what is the difference between your row based and a column based? Let me open the Excel for one more time. Let's say, for example, I have a table. I have a table. Let's say I have a table called as my VBAK. So you will be having VLN, VKORG, VTWEG, and then SPART, and then ERDAT, ERNAM, and then NETPR, NETPR. Like that, you have so many fields. Now, when you are fetching on your ECC system, it's a row-based database. Row. So instead of fetching, so whether you're fetching your, so I want only VBELN and then VKORG and then ERDAT. So these three fields only you want. So how SAP will fetch? It will just check all the columns of this row, not only, it will not check these three columns, it will check. So if it is matching this column, it will fetch the data. It is matching this column, it will fetch the data. If it is not matching, it won't fetch. And if it is matching, it will fetch that. So like that, it will fetch. So row by row, it is going to fetch your data. Row by row. Row by row, based upon your conditions, it will just go ahead and fetch your data. Whereas coming to your columns. So each column, so whatever the columns it want, it will just only read those columns. It won't read these other columns. Whereas in your ECC, the entire rows, it will be going to fetch. Just give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, just give me 1 second. Yeah, so it will just fetch only those specific columns, not all the columns. So that's the advantage of your columnar database. So only that columns. And for each and every column, it will again compressed. So let's say, for example, VKORG, which is nothing but your sales organization. So in your company, maybe you might have 4 or 5 sales orgs, not more than that, or maybe 20, 10 or 20. So those sales organizations will be gets repeated. Now, what SAP will do internally, I was telling you, let's say for this 1000, it will allocate it as 1. For this 2000, it will allocate this as 2. Like that, it will go ahead and create for each and every column. It will create another table which you can't able to see at your front end. And what it will do, wherever you have your 1000, it will replace with the 1 at internally in your back end, and then it will just compress this table. It will just compress. So the table size got compressed. So in your ECC, the tables will be gets expanded, but here based upon your data, whether it has to expand or whether it has to compress, it will automatically taken care by your SAP. Now, when you're fetching the data, so if you are fetching the data as VKORG as 1000, so it will check whether what is the value over here. So 1. So for 1, it is 1000. Internally, it will check that. It's just like as a read table. Internal syntax I'm saying, read table, internal table with index. So it will create an index table, I would say. So read table with index is read table with index. is very, very, very faster. Very, very, very faster. So that's what SAP will do it when you're working on your columnar database. Now, when you're going to create a database in your, when you're going to create a database table, so it's your responsibility whether you want to store it as a row database or whether you want to store it as your column database. By default, SAP will create every table as a column database. So you need to change the table to your row database. How you are going to change that, we will be going to showcase you in your tomorrow's session. Okay. So this is what. And now coming to this. So it's an memory in-memory columnar oriented database table which contains both OLAP and OLAP engines. As I was telling you, OLAP and OLAP engines. OL OLAP and OLTP engines. OLTP stands for your online transaction processing, whereas OLAP stands for your online analytical processing. Now, when you are seeing this, your ECC, it's an, so ECC is mainly a OLTP engine. OLTP engine only. So online transaction processing engine. So which is mainly used for posting the data, into your databases. Whereas the BW systems, you will be knowing that business warehouse systems, these are your OLAP engine, OLAP engine, which are used for your analytics, which are mainly analytics. So when you want to compare the data from the last 5 years, or when you want to compare the data for the last 10 years, or if I want to get the data for the vendor, so what is the what are the amounts that it has been purchased, or what is the amount that it has been they have done from the last 5 years. So based on that, if I can able to provide any discounts to them. So those type of things ECC can't able to handle. We need to use something called as your BW systems. So which is now what SAP has done it. They have clubbed these both engines into one single engine, into one single system, which is nothing but your SAP S4 HANA or SAP HANA, I would say. SAP HANA database, which will support both the OLAP and OLTP engines, which will support both the OLTP as well as your OLAP engines. Okay, so these are the things that will be performed. So that's what it's basically capturing, storing, and processing from different transactions. Now, you can ask in ECC also, we have created a report which will store you the document history and everything, right? But have you done any comparison like I want to know the profit and loss from the last 5 years, or I want to know the net gain for this customer from the last 5 years? Those type of reports you will never ever do it when you're working on your ECC. You'll always work with I want to know the purchase order reports or vendor reports based on the vendor, how many things that he has been done. So just a basic report you'll be seeing it. No much calculations, no pictographical representation. Those type of things we will never do it on your ECC. Who will do it? Those will be done by your SAP BW. So BW guys will go ahead and do those type of reports. Now what SAP has think that why I need to maintain two systems? Why I need to maintain two separate system, two separate boxes. The connections has to be maintained between your ECC and BW. The data has to be loaded from your ECC to BW, and then they will be going to create all this stuff, right? So can't be able to use a single system. The architecture will also going to be become a complex. So you have to maintain an ECC separately. You have to maintain in BW separately. Like that, you need to maintain multiple things. So that will create an issue for the longer run. For the longer run. So then SAP has realized to come up with this HANA. Now remember this HANA architecture Currently, no one is going to support this type of a database which will support OLTP and OLAP engines. No one is supporting in the market from the last 10 years. I would say from the next upcoming 10 years also, I don't think so. No one is going to support these two types of engines in one single things. In one single thing, no one is going to be supported. Okay, that's the power of your HANA. That's the power of your HANA. So now, as I was telling you, the evaluation of your S4 HANA, the first thing is, which I have told you, ECC, EHP 0 to 8, any version, and then ECC on top of your HANA, which is this one. And then from 1503, it has been started. In the 15, it has the first module that SAP has introduced is Simple Finance. Simple Finance, the S4 module, the first module SAP has been introduced. After that, it has been introduced your Simple Logistics, both procurement and both sales and procurement will be has been clubbed into one single thing, which is nothing but your simple logistics. After that, there are few other modules that has been came up, and then they have launched your S4 HANA in 1511, 15, 15, 2015, and 11 stands for your month. So every year, SAP releases two versions. One is in the month of September or October, September, October, November, and the other one in the month of year, February, March, April, the next year. So let's say the 1511, the first version has been released on 11, and in 1604, the second version has been released. After the 1610, the HANA next generation has been released. Like that, it will released. But from 2020 onwards, we don't find any months. It will always be at years. SAP S4 HANA 2020 or 2021 or 2022 or 2023. 2023 2023 FPS 01 or FPS 02. So these are the things. Okay. Now, these are all the different modules that is going to be supported by your S4 HANA, which you will be going to work. And then these are all the industry solutions that S4 HANA is capable of. So based upon, if you see, the dark green will showcase you the full length of your coverage, no restrictions. So major coverages with some restrictions and like that, and good coverage, and like this you will be having. So in this, I have worked on wholesale and distribution solution, sports and entertainment I have worked, chemicals I have worked, mining I have worked, retail I have worked, life sciences I have worked, aero defense I have worked, and consumer products I have worked, travel and transportation I have worked, telecommunications I have worked. So these type of industries have worked on it. Okay, so where we have implemented our HANA or where I have provided our support. Now, if you see the S4 releases, as I was telling you, 1610, 2016 and 10 is your month when it has been released. And from 2020 onwards, the month doesn't matter. Now, the current version of your HANA is HANA 2023 version. So which is the most stabilized version. And remember that every version of HANA till today, every as for HANA version, SAP will only supports for 5 years. SAP will only supports for 5 years. Let's take if you think that if a HANA is 1610 version, they will only support till 21, 5 years, or max to 22. 22. If it is 17, then they will max support to 23. If it is 18, they will max support to 24. If it is 19, they will max support to 25. So by this end of year 2025, so they have to go ahead to either 2020 version or greater than 2020 version. Greater than 2020 version, they have to go. So now when you join into another organization, when you are working with another organization with another client who is an S4 HANA person, mostly you will be seeing a version greater than 2020 only, greater than or equal to 2020 only, because SAP will only going to support for 5 years. For 5 years. So the main important reason for us to go ahead with an upgrade is our contract is going to be gets ended by 2025. We are on 1909 currently, our production system. So which will end up with 2025. Now we have been upgraded to 2023. But what SAP is saying, till the next version has been released, we will be supporting this 2023. Mostly the next version SAP is going to be released in 2033 is what SAP is saying when I was in decade. So decade is a thing which SAP will be hosted every year, where whatever the new things or new capabilities that SAP has been introduced, so those they will be explained in decade. So I was been part of this decade from the last 5 to 6 years. So in that, in one of the decade, they have told that the next version will be from 2033 onwards. 2033. And even SAP is saying that by end of 2027, every ECC system has to move to S4 HANA, irrespective of it. So from 2027, we are not going to support any ECCs. So previously it was 2025 for US. Previously it's 2025 for US and 2027 for rest of the world. Rest of the world. But now what SAP is saying, SAP has also given for US till 2027. By 2027, everyone has to move to S4 HANA. No ECC, nothing. No ECC, nothing. Everyone has to move it. Okay, remember that one. Okay, so this is one thing you need to know. So now when you're working on it, you will be either be working on in S4 HANA, we do have three different types of projects, I would say. One is your brownfield, one is your greenfield, and the other one is your support. Brownfield, greenfield, and support. What is this brownfield? What is this greenfield? And what is this support project? We'll be going to show, we'll be going to teach you when we are going to start it with the migration from ECC to S4. There is one more topic between the new syntaxes and the CDS view. You will be seeing to migration of from ECC to S4. In that you'll be going to see what is the difference between your brownfield and greenfield and support you already know about it. What is the difference between? So in layman terms, when you're converting your ECC to S4, it's called as brownfield, and you're new to SAP, it's called as your greenfield. That's in layman terms. Okay, that's in layman terms. Okay, so that's the difference between your brownfield as well as your greenfield implementation. Now, these are some of the key differences between your SAP S4HANA as well as your ECC. S4HANA will only runs on your HANA database. ECC can able to run on your multiple databases. So such as Oracle SQL2, DBT, MaxDB as well as your HANA. It has an it is optimized and take full advantage of in-memory capabilities of S4HANA, even though it is ECC on top of HANA. Even though it is on HANA, it is not optimized because you are working with your ECC, not a simplified lean database model. Now, this is on-premise public cloud. It can be hosted, but it can be hosted to on-premise editions. No public and private clouds are available. Now, it is a simplified data models. Some functionalities are replaced with a cloud application. This is a standard scope, normal way. Okay. And the front end will be a Fiori applications. This is a GUI user-based applications, but we have Fiori, but these are limited. We have Fiori, these are limited. So in this, you have so much advanced capabilities like artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotic process automation, copilot, etc., etc. So those type of innovations are not available in your ECC. Those type of innovations are not available. So these are the differences between your ECC and S4. So before we go ahead with the last and things like what details we'll be going to provide and what is the timings and what is the course fee, Any questions? Any questions, guys? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, thanks for that. Yeah. Now, coming to the timings of this class, the class will be from every day, morning 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., morning 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. weekdays. Only weekdays you will be having it. Only weekdays. That means Monday to Friday. But in between that, if you have, if I couldn't able to make up the session because of some health issues or because of some production issues, so I'll be going to take that over on weekends. Weekends, but mostly this will be communicated by Thursday. Mostly this will be communicated by Thursday. Don't worry about that. Now, every day the recording will be provided. Recording will be provided over on YouTube. Take private access. Private access only the persons who has been registered, they can able to access these videos. No other person, and it will be your lifetime. Lifetime, and this link will be pasted in your WhatsApp group. A WhatsApp group will be gets created, and that link will be pasted in your WhatsApp group. Okay, now the materials. The standard materials will be gets provided. So if I go ahead and showcase you here, materials. So as for materials, all these materials will be going to provide you. The wrap I'm not going to provide, except from this, every material will be going to provide you with you. So these are, so OData material, I just need to have to paste this one, but these materials are downloadable. You will be going to get these materials directly on your WhatsApp. Apart from this, you will also be joined to one more group. So my previous old batch students, I have one more group where you will be also joining to that group where if I have any openings, or if I learned any new things, or if you have any questions, you can just go ahead and paste it. Either myself will respond it, or the group, anyone can able to respond. So I'm just creating a community for you guys so that if in those companies, if you have the requirement, they will be just posting into that group. If I have the requirement, I'll be just posting to that group. If you have the requirement, you can just go ahead and post into that group. Okay, so these are the details that which we will be providing, which will be providing. Coming to your course fee, course fee, it will be the duration of your the duration. The duration is, I would say, approximately 100 days, plus or minus. Plus or minus. If it is going beyond that also, I'm not going to worry about that, guys. If it is not less, it will be going beyond that only. Uh, going beyond that only, because if you have any questions, if I need to repeat one more time, or if I need to provide, if you don't know about the ECC topic, I'll be giving you a glimpse about that ECC topic also. If you need it, or in between the classes, I might ask you some type of questions, or if I learned any new technologies, I will just go ahead and add that. So those type of things we'll be just adding that in your course. And apart from what you have seen in your course content, you will be learning more in my session. So course content is the limited scope which I have provided, the whatever the details. Apart from this, you will be learning so many new things which I have learned in my career, or in the last 3 months, or in the last 6 months, or the upcoming 3 months. Whatever I have learned, I'll be just going to attach that one. I'll be just going to attach that one. Okay, so that's one thing. Now coming to the course fee, it's basically of two types. One is with the server, other one is without server. So with server, it will be costing you around 25,000 INR, where we will be providing you with 6 months server access. And then without server, it's 20K INR. INR, INR. So these are not fixed and these are negotiable also. These are negotiable. We'll discuss one-on-one based upon your conditions. We'll just go ahead and negotiate with that. Okay. So, but I can't able to compromise on this 5,000 guys because I need to go ahead and give it to the third party person who is going to provide us the server for us. Okay. Even I'm also getting the server from the third party only. From the third party only, I'm not maintaining the server. So, okay. So this amount I can't able to compromise, but I can able to compromise on this 20K. We can do some kind of negotiations. So this is what. Now coming to my course content. I think let me open that on WhatsApp. I think I have already shared most of you guys. Just give me 1 second. So coming to your course content, I hope you have already gone through the course content, but I just want to give up you about the glimpse about the course content. Yeah, so this is okay. So this is the course content which I was just provided you. So in this, the first thing we will be going to see your inline the new syntaxes. So what are the inline declarations, the read operations? So these new syntaxes, mostly you might be aware of it. Mostly you might be aware of it. And then you will be going to see some of the important tools when you're migrating from your ECC to S4. One is your ATC, SLIN, and SCCI, and how to install your Eclipse and HANA Studio, the prerequisites, how to add your ABAP development tools and adding the system. And this you will be going to see what are the different shortcut commands you can use in your Eclipse, and then we will be going to work with your CDS. When you're working on your CDS, mostly it will be your Eclipse only. So I'll be going to ask you tomorrow whether I want to start the course from your Eclipse or whether I want to start with the GUI. So, so I was habituated with Eclipse. Mostly my previous batches, they ask us to go ahead with Eclipse only because the future, what you are doing is with Eclipse only. The future, whether it's an RAP based application or everything, you will be working with Eclipse only, but it's upon your wish, guys. I don't mind. So whatever you asked, I'll be just going with that. Okay, and then we'll be going to see about your core data services. What are the different things that you have, the virtual data models, the virtual elements, virtual data models, and how you will be going to create a CDS view, custom analytical app query, value helps, and then you will be going to see your IDA, integrated data access model, and then your OData services, and then your AMDPs. And then your AMDPs, and we'll give you basic intro of your RAP. Basic intro of your RAP that we'll be going to provide as part of this session. Okay, so that's it. So that's the end of the demo session. Also, this link, whatever the link I have provided, this link will be applicable till 7. You need to clear of you need to decide by 6th. By 6th, you need to decide it. Or by 7th max, you need to go ahead and decide it whether you want to enroll your course or not. And you need to done your at least one single payment. One single payment you just need to done. Half of the amount you just need to pay based upon the amount which we discussed. Okay. Okay, from next week onwards, whoever has been registered to the course, we'll be going to provide with them a new link. So till here, I'll be providing you the YouTube videos and everything. From here onwards, whoever has been registered to the course, we'll be providing for them only. So that's it. So that's the end of today's demo session. Before I signing off, any questions or any suggestions or anything if you want to provide, the forum is open. You can just provide.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi, Linda. Good.
Sir, after the all the topics when we completed, so will it be there will be a one project related to that or not, so that it will be
Okay.
very easy for us to how we can do the small project related to O data or IDP or
I'll help you out with that, Achinka. So as you asked it, I'll be going to help you out. So for and one more thing, as you already know, I think you already know you are my previous student only. I'll
yeah,
be going to provide you the assignments a lot. You just need to complete that assignments, guys. You just need to complete the assignment. Just share it with me. Okay. So I'll just
okay,
go through, I'll go ahead and review that assignments. And then as you requested for a project, we'll see whether I'll just see the requirements which I'm giving are related to the project based requirements only. So you can just keep that on your resume. This is what I have done it as part of my project and all this stuff. Okay.
okay, sir.
Not only this, I forgot to tell you one more thing, guys. I can help you out with your resume preparation as well as your interview preparation also. But these two are optional. You need to come to me and you need to ask me, sir, can you take me an interview? Or don't call me by sir, you can call me Rakesh. So we are in a corporate world. We are not a classroom based trainings. Okay. So just call me by name. Rakesh, can you help me out with the interview questions? Or can you help me out by taking a sample interview? But to be frank, I'm saying, guys, if you can able to clear my interview out of 10, 8 to 9 interviews, you can able to clear it off. I'm the most toughest guy in the interview. If let's say 10 persons has come up or 10 profiles has been came up, I'll select one or none. One or none. That's how my interview pattern is. Okay, so think about it, and if you want any kind of interview help, I can help you out with that. Okay, any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, I hope you like the demo session, and you will be going to receive this YouTube link in a couple of hours to your WhatsApp. You can just revisit the recording, and if you have any questions, you can just buzz me or on WhatsApp. Okay, yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.